Great to see you both, especially as we get into the biggest headline of the day around the world. And that is the news breaking overnight last night. U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania have tested positive for COVID-19. They are now in quarantine at the White House. What do you think of this story?
I mean, I have a lot of feelings about this story, none of which feel very constructive. But I think the reminder here for all of us is how anybody can get this, right? Like The Rock got it, the president has it, Tom Hanks, Rita Wilson. I feel like I hope that this serves as a reminder that this is something that we have to take seriously. And I hope that it makes people socially distance, wear their masks, live in a way that is safe so that we can take care of each other.
I think that I think this is a situation that, just to echo, we have to take seriously. And the president and the first lady getting it is a reminder that anyone can get it. The only thing I hope, is that they get over it. Okay, they pull through it. But I also hope that they take the time to sit still and really look at the situation at hand and think of everything that led up to this point and how it was dealt with to the people, and so that the narrative could change, and so that people can understand that if you get this thing, it doesn't mean that you're actually doomed. So I do hope that they pull through it okay, and it's not too uncomfortable for them and for the people.
I love what you're saying there, Lyric, because I think that regardless of what you feel about the administration down there, nobody is going to wish ill on the president or Melania. And I really do truly hope that they come through this okay. My fear, though, is what kind of information is the world, the public, especially for you guys down there for voting, what kind of information are we going to be getting from the White House, and how much can we trust that information? What scares me as sort of the outsider watching this is that the world already knows, or it feels like the U.S. is in crisis right now because of the division in the country, just over 30 days before you guys have perhaps the most consequential election in recent modern history in the United States. And now the president is going to be quarantining for at least the next 2 weeks. What does that do to the campaign? What kind of information are we going to get over that time? Trump it has been said through the doctor, is feeling fine with Melania and their quarantining. Nobody has said if he has any symptoms. There is anecdotal on the ground that his staff were saying Wednesday night at a rally, he's not looking good. We also know that one of his closest advisors, Hope Hicks, she has been diagnosed, and everybody's thinking, well, did Hope Hicks give it to President Trump? But maybe President Trump gave it to Hope Hicks, and maybe President Trump, who has been interacting in close proximity with literally hundreds of people for the last week. How many people could the president possibly have infected over the last week? Luckily, so far, Vice President Pence and his wife have tested negative. But this is what you call crisis in leadership. What is going to happen to the campaign? What is going to happen to America? And are we going to get the truth about how Trump is feeling when he might not develop symptoms for the next 7 days? But if he does, are we going to hear about it?
Yeah, Mel, you mentioned all the people that he's been around. Well, he was around Joe Biden the other night, not very long ago. And so there are a lot of people, especially on the newscast last night, who are wondering, has Joe Biden been tested? What's going on there? You have the leader of the Republican Party who is diagnosed with COVID-19. The leader of the Democrats was sharing a stage with him. So I'm curious about that. I also am, worried about the effect, the chaos that this is going to result in. Listen, his administration, I'm talking about Trump, and he himself did not take this virus seriously, and it resulted in chaos. So many people getting sick, so many people dying, and a very mismanaged pandemic response. Now that he does have COVID-19, there is going to be chaos again. The stock market already is not stable. They're watching it very closely. Futures tumbled overnight. you have to think about, yes, Mel, you're talking about the election. What is that going to do? And on top of that, already the misinformation and the conspiracy theories that this administration loves to float. I saw a tweet a few hours ago. Already, people are kind of like floating ideas about how President Trump got this virus. They were wondering whether or not he got it from the debate, whether or not the Democrats put it out there. And again, this kind of fake news contributes to chaos and contributes to unrest and contributes to people not having information and leadership. It's very sad what's happening.
I think also with all the information that you put out there, Lainey, we hope that the childish behavior stops. Pointing the finger at who gave it to who is not necessarily the way to go about it. It's something that is airborne. Anyone can get it. And so the only thing that someone should feel bad about is if you know you have it and you go out in public and you not protect yourself or let people know that you have it, or just staying home by not going out. But the finger blaming doesn't work. That's just childish in itself. And we know that the both parties tend to be very childish ever since this whole campaign started. So hopefully that could put them in check and make sure that they don't continue in that direction. In terms of the election, again, I hope the president, decides to just sit still and really take a look at everything that's been going on with the election and to see that, this is real life. This is not a game. Forget the politics or the politics, whatever you want to call it, and actually address a situation that could actually take your life and the life of your family. So grow up. Hopefully this could, whip them into shape real quick and take the situation seriously, and the Democrats included, so that we can, come up with some sort of a solution, both politically and health-wise.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We're going to keep on top of this story. It is. Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I think the important thing to remember here is, you guys use the word chaos several times, and I think it's important to remember that it will only become more chaotic, right? It is a media circus. It's only going to become more so. And I think it's important that people are self-aware enough to know when and where they need to consume, right? So if you're watching this news and it's making you more anxious, it's making you more fearful, there are ways that you can consume your media that won't make you feel so out of control. We are never, ever in control of the world around us, but we can control ourselves. And so as it becomes more and more crazy as we lead up to the election, I think people have to be really mindful of how much of this are we being manipulated into having fear about. And if you guys have not watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, everybody needs to watch that.
Yeah.
It is so powerful in understanding how we are manipulated into this feeling of divisive chaos.
I know, but you're right. It does still add a little bit to the fear. But yes, I agree. Very, very good.